Cool K and Countyfairgrounds here. Do I have the infamous Kevin Stone hypnotist on the line?
You do. How are you?
Busy, normal. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It's a wonderful day.
Okay, so you're in California and you've been a hypnotist. Have you ever been anything else?
I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been doing this a long time. Not only I do entertainment, so I do comedy, stage hypnosis shows, but I am also board certified, and I have a clinic here in California.
Okay, so you treat patients.
Yes.
Okay, all right. How did you get into this? I'm curious.
Went to school. There's a college here in Tarzana and get offered college credit. So I thought, you know what, this is for me. And I actually went in and got my degrees.
Okay. Did you go in with the intentions of being a performer?
No, I didn't. I just wanted the college credit, actually. And so once I started really getting into it, because I was pretty skeptic, just like everybody else, cynical and all of that. And I'm originally from the East Coast, so we have a whole different viewpoint on, what hypnosis is. But generally, everyone has the same stigma attached to it, where it's controlling, they don't understand it, and there's just a lot of negativity that surrounds it. Up until the last 10 or 15 years, where things have become extreme, and a lot of people are starting to understand it more. I think with the help of people like me and others who are out there promoting the positivity of it and showing how it can change your life, because it is a natural, organic tool. But so yeah, I was pretty sick, and so I went in. And what made me a believer, basically, was we went on a field trip over at one of the most world-famous hospitals in the world, Cedars-Sinai, and basically we were behind a two-way mirror, and there was a pregnancy happening with a famous opera singer, and we were told that she was already had 6 sessions, so she was already prepped. She was going to have an entire C-section under hypnosis without any epidural, no drugs, nothing, all hypnosis. They call it hypnobirthing nowadays, but back then didn't have that word. So we're like, yeah, right, whatever. And so the doctor comes in, basically puts her in hypnosis. Now, she was instructed that if she felt any discomfort or pain at all, she was to not raise her hand. She was to let out an opera note, because she was an opera singer. So if she would let out a note, they would stop, give her the epidural, boom, and then, they would continue on. She never raised a hand. She never did anything. She basically did the entire pregnancy C-section under hypnosis. So that was pretty phenomenal for me to watch. And so went back to class and started taking it a little bit more seriously. And first thing for me, what I did was I stopped biting my nails. And so from that point on, I said, wow, this stuff's pretty powerful. It's a natural, organic thing, and why not try to learn more about it? So I did. Finished up the program, became board certified, and 30 years later, here I am, helping others to help themselves to understand this power, this natural, organic resource, and to change their lives with it.
Okay, Kevin. So you got a degree, and I guess you were doing clinical hypnosis stuff. How did you get into doing it on the stage? And you're a comic hypnosis guy?
Well, they call it comedy stage hypnosis, yeah. So what I do is I lecture and I do stage hypnosis shows that are informative. I call them edutainment, where my style, my shows are very unique and very different from the standard common comedy stage hypnosis one may see out there. I design my shows very specifically where it's an education while having a good time and laughing and understanding hypnosis. And so at the end of it, I also give them what I have perfected, a mini hypnotherapy session where people actually change their lives after they participate in the show. So it's very, very different from a lot of other people or what people have seen out there.
Okay, well, treating patients and stuff using hypnotherapy is different sort of than doing it on the stage. How did that transition happen?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great story because I was never interested in doing the stage hypnosis ever. And so I opened up a private practice here in the Valley in California, and the word got out about who I was and my methods and my technique, and it got out in the entertainment industry. So I started seeing a lot of celebrities, and they all started coming to see me. Well, the word got out to a major producer in Hollywood, where he basically said to me, he said, listen, I'm throwing a party in the Hollywood Hills for A-list celebrities, and it's a small party, maybe 20 people, and I want to have you at the house, and we want to do some comedy stage hypnosis like the famous Pat Collins. Now, if you don't know who Pat Collins is, she is a very dominant hypnotist here in California in the 70s, 80s, even going into the 90s before she passed on. She was actually one of my mentors as well as Orman McGill, who's also a hypnotherapist and a world-famous stage hypnotist. Well, Pat Collins was the queen here in California. She actually had a nightclub, and everyone knew who Pat Collins was. So anytime you get a phone call about hypnosis, it would be, can you do what Pat Collins does? So I kept telling this famous producer guy, I don't do that. I'm a clinician. I'm in the medical field side of hypnosis, and I don't do comedy stage hypnosis or demonstrations. I do hypnotherapy. Well, he kept bothering me, and every weekend he would have a party.
Yeah.
And he kept calling and calling and calling. He says, listen, I'm having another party. I want you to come out. This is like the top of the line celebrities. You need to be here. And I said, look, I've told you 100,000 times I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. It doesn't interest me at all. He goes, okay, fine. Now, back in those days, things were a little bit different. And so he sent a courier to my office. Comes to the office and says, hey, it's Mr. Stone here. He is. He comes in. I go, who are you? He goes, I'm so-and-so with Mr. So-and-so. I go, okay. I go, what's going on? He goes, well, he's having a party this week. It's very important to him that you show him, you do some comedy hypnosis and get everybody involved with this, what he really wants. I go, I've already told him, 100,000 times I'm not interested. And he goes, listen, he asked me to give this to you. And he pulls out from his satchel a blank check. And he said, he told me to tell you to fill in the amount, whatever you want, on this blank check. He won't question it, and he will pay you exactly what you believe it's worth for you to come out this weekend. So I go, blank check, and I get to fill it out whatever I want. He goes, yes. I go, okay, and he goes away. I fill out the blank check. I cash the blank check, and they paid me what I was worth, which was a ridiculous amount of money. So I showed up on that weekend, and it was a wonderful experience because it was very intimate. And when I do a lot of my smaller programs, either lecturing or stage shows, it often reminds me of my roots and how all of that started. So it was an incredible experience. So from that point, I started getting a lot of phone calls, because once you open up the portal, the door, you're going to get all kinds of inquiries. So I started getting a lot of people calling me up from casinos, fairs, festivals, asking me to do comedy stage hypnosis. So that's how that kind of took off, and then the rest is basically history, because once I started doing it, the word got out, and they saw how my technique and my programs were very, very different than what the standard versions were and still today. And they thought, wow, this is a very powerful program. So that's how that all started, and that's why I continue to do both sides of what I do today, because I realize the importance of the power of having people experience and be there to witness it, to understand it better than trying to stay in the medical side and not do the performances or the lecturing. And so that's why I do both sides now. I do the medical side, hypnotherapy, and I do the entertainment side.
Okay, so I have to ask, you do stage shows?
Yeah, yes, comedy stage hypnosis shows, yes.
Okay, so give me some names of some of the first festival kinds of things you did.
Oh, my goodness. You're kidding me? I've been doing this for 30 years, so I've done just about everything you can imagine. Major fairs, smaller fairs, LA County Fair, you name it, I've done it.
Okay. All right. And you've been overseas, right?
Yes, I've been all over the world.
So how did that happen? How did you get overseas?
Well, again, once you do good work and the word gets out, and people really understand that, hey, this is a very powerful program, and this particular person is really passionate about what they do, and they're very talented in what they do, that's it. The word gets out. Everyone in the entertainment field and or lecture field, it's not a very big world, and so word of mouth travels very quickly. So once it gets out, that's it. Everybody wants you.
No, I don't know about it not being a big field. I've been in it for a long time. It's a pretty big field, dear. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, we agree to disagree on that.
You've been overseas, right?
I have.
Okay,
I've
where?
been to every major country, every major city. What I do for a living is taking me all around the world, all over the world.
Oh, okay. So, do you know the first performance that you had overseas and what country it was in?
It was in oh my goodness, what was it? It's from it wasn't Bermuda. It was I can't remember from where that famous singer that girl is from. What country is that? But anyway, that was my first one. And it was a very interesting experience, very unique. And once a couple of times, you get used to it like anything else, and then you have fun with it. But the first one was going on. It was very overwhelming.
Okay, so you basically lay out the plans for the whole show as to how it's going to go on then.
Well, it's a cooperative effort between me and the books the particular show, because you can I tailor my shows to exactly what the client wants. So It depends on what they want. So it's not really up to me, but I'm pretty versatile. So whatever it is they want, I can do, I can produce, or I can make happen. So it's really up to me.
So how do you feel about the stage show stuff now? Didn't sound to me like you wanted to go in that direction. Well, you were going to be just a hypnotherapist in private practice.
That was the beginning, like I explained.
Yeah.
That's something I never wanted to get into, but I got into it, and I thought I explained that pretty thoroughly.
Okay. All right. So is there any place that you would like to perform that you haven't had the opportunity to perform?
Jeez. Not off the top of my head. I mean, I think once you do them, they all become the same, and then it gets to a point where you don't even know where you're really at. It's kind of like when you hear bands, they go, hey, welcome Chicago, and they're really in Rhode Island, and so all of the places become pretty much the same. The airports are pretty much the same. The culture's different, the food's different, but there's not a whole lot of time when you're there to enjoy all of that, because you're really there to work. It's but if you can and you explore, and I like to do a lot of exploring, then you start to really feel like you're part of where you're at. But in general, if I'm here locally in California, Los Angeles, or if I'm in Australia, it's pretty much the same to me. And I think once the professional, well-seasoned entertainer, if you ask the same question, they're going to tell you the same answer. I mean, a lot of my friends who are in major rock bands and major bands like that, same thing. It's just another day.
I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. I talk to a lot of entertainers all the time. It depends. So, how long is a show that you usually put on? Do you do county and state fairs?
Okay, that's two questions, right?
Yep.
So, okay, two-part question. And yes, I've already stated I do county and state fairs. I do lots of them. How long is the show? It really depends. I can do a 20-minute show. I can do an hour show. I can do an hour-and-a-half show. I can do a 2-hour. Whatever the client wants is what the client gets.
Okay. So do you do your own booking?
I don't. I do, yes, and then I have several agencies who represent me to facilitate the logistics of the entertainment side, yes.
So you've been doing this for a long time. How long are you planning on doing it?
Well, I've been doing it for 30 years. I'm going to do this until, look, my passion my passion is hypnosis, and it's helping people to help themselves. And so I'm going to do this as long as God gives me the opportunity to do it, because I really feel what I'm doing is God-given. And so as long as I'm able to do what I'm doing, I will do it till the end of time.
One of the questions I always ask is, and this goes with it too, have you had any bad experiences that make you regret doing this?
Well, look, I think in every profession, it doesn't matter what you're doing, even if you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work every day. There's lots of people who do that, whether you're in a band, you're a computer programmer, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. If you do what you love, the rest comes. But look, there's good and bad days in every profession. And so for anyone to say different, I think, is not being very truthful, because in life, we have our good days and our bad days. Even if it's not working or doing what you love, it's just how life works. There's ups and downs to everything.
Yeah. I'm the Countyfairgrounds lady. I've been at it since 1998. I had a horrible day yesterday.
There you go. Yeah.
But I keep plugging away. So.
And there's all there is to it, because tomorrow it will be a better day.
And it usually works that way.
That's
yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to add? How do people book you if they're interested?
Well, my website's pretty simple to remember. It's hypnotist.com. And I'm going to spell that, because even when I go there, I kind of put in, and again, it's like McDonald's.com. I get people who email me or call my office every single day wanting to purchase that, and that's probably going to be my retirement once I do retire, because it's a pretty popular website, hypnotist.com. And so it's HYP as in Paul, NOTIST.com. And so that's how you get a hold of me. All the information's on there. We've also designed the website very, very specifically and carefully. It's not about me per se. It's really about hypnosis and how people can really understand, get into it. There's a lot of information on there, a lot of free information. There's programming systems on there. There's all kinds of information. It's like a small library of what hypnosis is, and every question everyone would ever think about is on there, and there's an answer to it. So it's really an educational website for people to really understand the natural, organic state of hypnosis. I mean, of course, there's information on there about me and how to contact me and all of that. And, of course, if people do want to contact me through the website, hypnotist.com, they can email me. It may take me, a little bit to get back to you. I do own personal emails. A lot of people think that I have a personal assistant who does all of that. No, I do it. But it may take me a little while, because I'm either lecturing, on tour, doing shows, or I'm in the clinic, where, it takes me a little bit to get back to you. But I will get back to you if you do respond. If you do email me, I will respond.
Believe me, Kevin, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, and we'll get this up and see what happens.
I love it. I appreciate the interview.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.